John Lennon and Paul McCartney, the primary songwriters behind the Beatles, were responsible for creating the vast majority of the band's most iconic hits. Their contrasting approaches to music often blended together, producing a unique magic that became synonymous with the group. Music and Musicians magazine's Wilfred Mellors pondered on the cooperation in 1972, drawing the analogy of two opposing poles producing electricity to describe the interplay between McCartney and Lennon. The poetic elegance of McCartney countered the raging defiance of Lennon, and the persistent resilience of Lennon countered the wide-eyed charisma of McCartney. During their formative years, they frequently collaborated on songwriting sessions at McCartney's childhood home in Allerton, located on Forthlin Road. But as they became older and their creative differences deepened, they started composing alone. They wouldn't reunite until they were ready to finish and polish each other's pieces. All of the songs written by Lennon and McCartney when they were members of the Beatles were attributed to their songwriting collaboration, even if their composition technique evolved. For example, in the instance of Eleanor Rigby, this may lead to arguments over who was more innovative. Both Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine, which were released on August 5, 1966, sparked a comparable but lighter controversy. This song was originally intended as a children's song and was written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Ringo Starr provided the lead vocals. It was a complete change of direction for the Beatles compared to Eleanor Rigby. While on vacation in Greece, McCartney had an iced delicacy called a submarine that was either yellow or red. That taste inspired the song. On the other hand, while on an acid trip, Lennon had the brilliant notion of making his home in a submarine. After some time, Starr's performance of the notion took the form of a psychedelic tune reminiscent of nursery rhymes. The humorous aspect of Yellow Submarine did not prevent it from being a financial hit. The song was named 1967's best-selling British A-side record and received an Ivor Novello Award for its achievement. In an interview with BBC journalist Brian Matthew, Lennon and McCartney made light of the question of who actually composed the song. When asked who was mostly to blame, Lennon pointed to McCartney in a teasing manner, and McCartney nodded back at him. Lennon made a comical comment implying that Ringo was the true mastermind, and the back and forth persisted. In the end, McCartney provided Matthew with a humorous explanation, saying that he was the one who had the concept, and that he and Lennon had written it jointly. The intention, according to McCartney, was only to write a light-hearted children's song. Therefore, the song was never meant to be taken seriously. Of the Kinks, Ray Davies was not a fan of Yellow Submarine, calling it a load of old rubbish. The majority of reviewers, meanwhile, were impressed by it upon its debut. Jolly Nonsense Song, featuring humorous sound effects, was characterized by Record World as an example of the Beatles enjoying themselves. An iconic emblem of the Beatles, Yellow Submarine, was the title of their 1968 animated film. Their logo now prominently features a yellow submarine, and at Speak, Liverpool John Lennon Airport, you may see a monument of the legendary craft.